Welcome to the Taiwan language episode, a podcast for learning and insights in Mandarin and Taiwanese. I'm your host, Yasmin. Have you ever noticed that when you live with the Taiwanese people, it feels like their daily routines, rhythms, and even big decisions are guided by something you can't see? It's like there is some kind of invisible hand guiding them, making everything happen at the right time. I remember when I was little, we moved a lot. And after we moved into a new house, the elder folks and the family would always say, "We can't move in yet. We need to wait for a certain day." Even the bed could not be moved freely. I remember thinking as a kid, "What's going on? Is there a monster in the house? Do we have to wait for it to leave on a special day before we can move in?" Sounds weird, right? Then, as a child, there were so many things I didn't get. For instance, why do we need to pick a lucky day for things like dinner parties, weddings, and moving houses? And why did the elder always say I was 1 year older than my teacher said? They insisted I was 8 when I was 7. And no matter how much I argued, I could not convince them. I thought, why are adults so weird? It wasn't until I got older that I realized that these decisions were guided by something called the Farmer's Almanac. This invisible hand that determines the best times for all kinds of life events. The Farmer's Almanac isn't just any calendar. It's like a guide for your life, telling you if today is a good day to do something or whether it is better to walk east or avoid the west to avoid bad luck. It even tells you which foods should not be eaten together. And for big things like weddings or moving houses, it tells you the best days. The Farmer's Almanac is based on Asian wisdom. It's a combination of the moon's and sun's movements and years of farming experience. It's not just a calendar, it's a tool to help plan your life. Originally, it started in ancient China when people relied on nature's signs to help with farming. They noticed how the stars, the moon, and the seasons affected crops, and they used that knowledge to create a calendar to guide their farming practices. Over time, it evolved into something more than that, helping people pick the right days for weddings, business openings, and other important events. It's interesting how different places have different versions of the almanac. For instance, one version might say it's a good day to go east, while another says it's a bad day to go anywhere. So why is the Farmer's Almanac such a big deal for Taiwanese people? It's more than just a calendar. It's a way of life, providing answers for big decisions. Even though modern people don't rely on it as much, it still gives them peace of mind. Sure, some might think it's superstitious. But for big events like weddings or moving, most people still turn to it for guidance. Everyone wants things to go smoothly, right? Now with the modern technology, some of the advice in the Farmer's Almanac may not fit perfectly with today's science, like its dietary suggestions. But the part about the 24 solar terms, it's still really helpful for farmers in planning their crops. And while we use phones and computers to check days now, the Farmer's Almanac is still deeply ingrained in Taiwan's culture. It's a way for the older generations to remind us of the wisdom passed down through generations. They say our ancestors were so wise. But here is my personal take. I think the Farmer's Almanac is based on past observations and experiences. It's not a prophecy or a holy book. So for me, it's just a reference tool. We should take control of our lives, not let a book tell us what to do. If you think about it, the older generation believes that choosing a good day for a wedding brings long-lasting happiness. But the divorce rate has been rising. So maybe the Farmer's Almanac can't really change fate. What truly matters is our effort and attitude. I think the real value of the Farmer's Almanac is that it helps me understand how most Taiwanese people think and act. But it's not a blueprint for my life. Whether it's marriage, moving, meeting a benefactor, or getting promoted, it all comes down to the choices we make and the effort we put in. So what do you think about it? Do you rely on the Farmer's Almanac to make decisions in your life? Feel free to share. And now it's our Taiwanese time. Today we talked about the Farmer's Almanac. In Taiwanese, it is 农民历. And wedding as one of the big events in our life. In Taiwanese, wedding, that is 结婚. Moving to a new house is also one of the major events in our lives. Moving here in Taiwanese, that is 搬厝. We mentioned about the Farmer's Almanac is based on ancient wisdom. It is a combination of the moon's and the sun's movements and years of a farming experience. So here, the moon and the sun in Taiwanese, that is 月牛, which is the moon, and 日頭, which is the sun. We also mentioned about our ancestors. In Taiwanese, it is 老祖先. You can simply say 祖先 because 老祖先 here, the 老, that has referred to past generations already, so 祖先is okay. But if you want to emphasize old, you can say 老祖先. And now let's review today's vocabulary. 农民历, 结婚, 搬厝, 月牛, 日頭, 老祖先. So that wraps up what I had to share today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'd really love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you are enjoying this podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you will not miss any updates. In this episode, I share stories about Taiwan's culture, history, and even a Taiwanese perspective on the world. If you find this interesting or helpful, I would be so grateful if you could share it with your friends and family. Also, please check out the show notes below for details about this episode and some useful links. If you would like to support this podcast, feel free to click those links or consider sponsoring. It really helps me keep making great content for you. Thank you again for tuning in. Have a good day.